Hello everyone, and welcome to day number 4 of your daily Chafetz Chaim, as we continue with the Chafetz Chaim's introduction to the laws of Lashon Hara. He writes, and I thought, how did this sin become so disregarded by people? And I realized that there are multiple reasons. For the general populace, it's because they think that Lashon Hara doesn't apply to that which is true. And even for the learned people who know that Lashon Hara applies to the truth as well, there are still other tactics that the Yetzer Hara will employ. He will first tell him that the person that you're speaking about, there's a mitzvah to speak Lashon Hara about him. He's a bad person. People are going to learn from him if we don't speak out against him. Or perhaps that person is creating machlekes, he's creating strife, and therefore we need to stop it, and we can say Lashon Hara. Or perhaps he will tell you that this scenario fits into one of the many leniencies that apply to Lashon Hara, even though they don't really apply. Or he might tell a person that it's not so bad, what you're saying isn't really Lashon Hara because it's not really so bad. Bottom line, the Yetzer Hara will convince a person that either what they're saying is not Lashon Hara, or that you're allowed to say Lashon Hara under these circumstances. And if a person is able to get above all of that, the Yetzer Hara will then apply a new tactic, and that will be to tell him that everything is Lashon Hara, or it will lead to Lashon Hara. And if that's the case, you can't talk at all. You just can't say anything. And that's impossible for a person to live their lives that way. In addition to all of this, people have a lack of understanding of the laws of accepting Lashon Hara, believing Lashon Hara, the laws of Rechilus, the laws of believing and accepting Rechilus. And because of all of these different factors, the adherence to the laws of Lashon Hara has dwindled greatly. And now we're at a point where people simply say whatever comes to mind without thinking first, is this something I'm allowed to say or not? And it's gotten to a point that it is so bad that because of this, many people don't even consider it to be a sin at all. And even if they were to say Lashon Hara, which is blatant Lashon Hara, and somebody speaks up and says, why are you saying Lashon Hara? They'll consider him an extra pious, extra righteous person, and they will not accept the rebuke. Now, how did all of this happen? The Chafetz Chaim ends by saying it's because there was never one place where all of the laws of Lashon Hara, Rechilus, both saying and listening to, have all been compiled. There was never such a place until now. And therefore the Chafetz Chaim says he is going to gather from all of the different sources, from the Rishonim, the early commentaries, and the few places in which it is discussed, put it all together in one concise book, which is called the Sefer Chafetz Chaim.